Assalamualaikum and hi. My name is Rosnani binti Ahmad from AM1104J. I am from Group 2 and the topic for our assignment is the features of Malaysian federalism. I will talk about the introduction. So let's go. So the idea of federalism was acquainted with Malaya by the British in 1895. The point of the League is to help the less created state and to invigorate financial development. The idea of federalism infers that there are two degrees of government, specifically the focal government and the state government. Each degree of government is conceived the force in specific fields and undertakings. There is no options to intercede in the issues not under their separate local. In Malaysia, the conveyance of force is illustrated in of the Malaysian Constitution. Federalism is a system of government in which the power is divided between a central authority and various constituent units of the country. Federalism is an arrangement of government where a similar domain is constrained by two degrees of government. Federalism is one of the significant types of force partaking in modern majority rule system.
Hi and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Hanisa binti Ahmad Syam. I am from AM1104J. I will explain about the features of Malaysian federalism. In Malaysia, there are two or more levels of government in Malaysian federalism. In Malaysia, the two levels of government are the central government and the state of government. The Federal Constitution of Malaysia has created the Federal Government of Malaysia. The Federal Government has adopted the principle of separation of powers. Their role is to carry out duties in all administration are related to federalists and generalists only. The Federal Government is a combination of the central government and the state government. Each level of government has its own powers in certain areas of law. In addition, the central government also has authority over foreign affairs and general affairs. There is YDPA, the Conference of Rulers, the three components of governance, namely the legislature, executive and judiciary in the central government. Government duties are performed by ministry and government departments in Malaysia. The next level is the state government. The state government is the administrative center of a state. This government has full authority over internal matters such as land, law and internal administration. Menteri Besar is known as the highest position of state in Malaysia. The things that enforced under the state government are agriculture and forestry. Even though these two governments have their respective powers, they also have shared jurisdiction that known as a shared list. They will work together in resolving issues such as community service. None of the parties have the power to profit against and oppress the other party. The third level of government is local government. The creation of local government attempts to give possibilities for the residents to engage in the administration of their community. Despite the fact that local government is governed by the state, it is administered by the federal government through the local government division of the Ministry of Housing and Local Government. This type of government is responsible for providing municipal service in areas such as sanitation, rubbish collection, general health, and the provision of the toilets. It is also a legal entity with the authority to sue and be sued, to enter into contracts, and to possess property. The example type of local government are City Hall or City Council. It is the administrative center of a state. It also has institutions of higher learning such as universities and colleges. DBKL and Johor Bahru City Council are the example of city halls in Malaysia. Next type is the Municipal Council. It is the administrative center of a district. An example of a municipal council in Malaysia is MPSJ. Finally, the District Council. The council exists in a town which is usually located outside the city and has a population of less than 100,000 people. An example is the Tapa District Council. Last but not least, the local government's term of reference can then be viewed according to the Local Government Act of 1976. All local governments have been reorganized and have only limited authority. The main and most important powers are power to make bylaws, power to collect taxes, rental rates, and others of powers to hold local authority funds which are in the control of the party itself. This means that the party has financially autonomy. That's all from me. Next, I will pass to Fazrul to explain more about the features of Malaysian federalism.
Now, I will explain about different tiers of government govern the same citizens. In Malaysia, there are three tiers of government, namely the federal government, state government, and the local government. Although these governments govern the same citizens, they have their own jurisdiction in specific matters that has been outlined for each tiers. In Malaysia, voting practice to elect representatives to the federal government and state government. However, there is no voting for the local government as the members of the local government are appointed by its stakeholders, especially by the members of the state government, federal government. As far as jurisdiction of each government is concerned, according to Article 73 till 95 under legislative power, the federal government can make laws for the whole or any part of the federal on matters that fall under federal list and concurrent list. Among others, the federal government make laws that relate to internal security and defense. This is translates to the police force and military force are under the federal government, while civil and criminal cases are also under the federal government to legislate the relevant act for the judiciary to execute. The country financial matters, trade, commerce and industry are also under the federal government purview. It is very much is involved with the national budgets of the country. The list of areas in detail in list 1 of the 9th schedule of the Constitution. Next, state government. While for the state government, they make law for their own state only. For instance, the state government of Pahang make law of enactment only to be implemented within the state of Pahang only. Whatever transpires from the state assembly is meant for the state only and does not relate to other states. Among others, the state government make laws that relate to forestry and mining. They are under purview of the state government. In addition, matters relating to local government and local service are also under state government. In line with the Malay rulers, for each state are the head of the state, religious affairs, Islamic matters, and Islamic law are under the state. State government, This include matters related to personal and family law of Muslim in the state and also the implementation and maintenance of the Sharia court. The list of area is detailed in list 2 of the 9th schedule of the Constitution. Cooperation between both governments. There is also the concurrent list whereby both the federal government and state government may make law on matter in the concurrent list. However, for states, it may make law for the object that is under their state only and not to object that is beyond its state territory. Among others that fall under this category are matters related to social welfare, scholarship, national park, animal protection, fire safety measure and water supply to the state. In addition, town and country planning require cooperation between both governments to work hand in hand. The list of area is further detailed in List 3 of the 9th schedule of the Constitution. Next is local government. While for the local government, it is more of a local housekeeping. Thus, while relates to the solid waste management, business operating permit, roadside maintenance and advertisement, in order for an effective and efficient operation and procedure, the local government has the undang-undang kecil dan peraturan rules for the local people to follow. Now, I will pass to my friend Suha to continue about features of federalism.
Malaysia federalism has dual objectives. First, to safeguard and to promote unity of the country. Second, accommodate regional diversity. It has creative characteristics of federalism, institution and practice. Mutual trust and concern to live together is very important. For example, courts can interpret the constitution. Example to safeguard and to promote unity of our country is Malaysia has launched the National Unity Policy, which have three main objectives. First, to strengthen national unity and integration based on the Federal Constitution and Rukun Negara. Second, to form a national identity based on self-sacrifice, patriotism, caring, tolerance, mutual respect and responsibility. And lastly, to produce Malaysians who value and practice unity.
So the next features of Malaysian federalism is the court have the power to interpret the constitution. Judicial interpretations refer to how a judge interprets law. A few adjudicators are said to interpret laws in manners that cannot be supported by the plain significance of the law at different occasions. A few appointed authorities are said to administer from the seat. Judicial interpretations alludes to how the legal executive interprets the law, especially protected reports, enactment and habitually utilized jargon. The Supreme Court has the ability to interpret the Constitution and the force of various levels of the public authority. The Supreme Court goes about as an umpire in the event of debates emerging between various levels of the public authority in the activity of their separate force of double goals. Other than that, the court also have the power of different level of government. The primary level in Malaysia government is the federal government. The central administration of Malaysia holds fast to and is made by the federal constitutions of Malaysia. The central government embraced the rule of detachment of force under Article 127 of the Federal Constitutions and has three branches. The second level of Malaysian government is the state government. Each state government in Malaysia is made by the particular state constitutions. Each state has a unicameral state administrative chamber whose individuals are chosen from single part supporters. And the third level of Malaysian government is the local government. Local government in positions to decide and execute measures inside a confined region inside and more modest than an entire state.
Last but not least is the fundamental provision of the Constitution cannot be unilaterally changed by one level of government. The fundamental provisions of the Constitution cannot be unilaterally changed by one level of government. The Constitution itself provides under Article 159 and 161E on how it may be changed. For instance, any change to the provision below requires a two-thirds absolute majority of the House of Representatives and the House of Senate before getting the consent from the Conference of Malay Rulers. This includes matters related to the power of the Malay ruler and its state, status of Islam in the Federation, special position of the Malay and native of Sabah and Sarawak, Malay language as the national language, while matters related to Sabah and Sarawak require the governor of Sabah and Sarawak to concur. While state governments are allowed to make law and amend existing law of the state, federal law will always prevail over state law in the event of any conflict or inconsistency.
As a conclusion, we can see that this system of federalism is a national system that is very suitable to be implemented in Malaysia. This is said so because the feature of federalism, which involves two levels of government, can help in smoothing the administration of the country. This system of federalism can also be seen as a source to solve problems in the context of Malaysia.